Hey, Miz, I hope you were watching that. I came into your house, kicked down your door, and ran over your little Raw superstars like nothing. There's a reason I'm the United States champion, and tomorrow I'm going back to the #1 show, SmackDown Live, and I'm gonna continue to do what I do best and run people over. I've got a little bit of advice for you. Come Survivor Series, you should just stay home and keep playing dress up with your little wife.
Baron Corbin, I just got your message. I've been really busy this week, but I gotta say, it's the best promo I've ever seen you cut. It's amazing because when I cut my best promos, it's in front of thousands in attendance and millions watching at home on a big camera in a WWE ring, while your best promo is on an iPhone on social media. So listen up, Twitter tough guy. This isn't about Raw and SmackDown supremacy for me. This is about making the Intercontinental Championship the most prestigious and honorable title in all the WWE. I bust my ass day in and day out to make that title relevant, while the United States Championship is working overtime to make its holder relevant. See, I've heard all about you in the WWE ring, how talented you are, but to me, you're just another generic big man who will be gone in 2 years while I'm carrying this show for the next 10. And if you ever talk about my pregnant wife again, I'll knock your teeth down your throat.
Here we are at KTR. I'm so happy that you've joined us. I'm so happy that you've joined us. Right here on K-Fame Talk Radio. I'm on here with Eric the Red and your other favorite. Here we are talking about wrestling.
All is ready.
You are listening to K-Fame Talk Radio. K-Fame Talk Radio.
Alrighty. Happy belated Halloween, everyone. Welcome to K-Fame Talk Radio. I am Eric the Red, joined along with, as always,
Mr. Bonesaw.
And you know,
how are you doing, guys? Happy Halloween.
And you know, Earls didn't show up, so you know, I guess we could call.
He's a fucking clown. He has to go outside and dress as, you know, go down the sewer dressed like a clown and abduct some random ass children. He's Pennywise, and you know that.
Here's here's an inside joke. Oh, you're probably gonna know where I'm going with this one. Don't lie, you're going to Feathers.
Oh no!
Shout out to our loyal listener Pete. That's all. Oh man, yeah man.
He's a little too loyal. Maybe we should just send him to. We'll send him to another podcast. He can annoy somebody else. Oh no! Oh yeah! Oh love Pete.
Well, I don't know if it was a full moon out this week or not, but there was this this little bug in the ass between two wrestlers by the names of Baron Corbin and The Miz that decided, let's turn up the intensity and make this fucking shit show of a Survivor Series card seem at least somewhat intense or add some fucking watchability to this. But you know, as we heard from the intro, you know,
it's pretty so weird though, because it's like, oh yeah, you have. I mean, the Miz right now is pretty much. I mean, other than if you get the hell out of like the Midwest, the Miz gets. He doesn't get a heel reaction anymore. He's been getting like a face reaction, but he's still kind of booked like a heel. He still cheats. He goes out of his way to like use his entourage, his Miztourage to win matches. But and Baron Corbin is like this really pompous asshole. So obviously, you have two heels here, unless they're gonna basically do a face turn for the Miz, because wasn't his last match he won clean against Jeff Hardy?
Fuck, I don't even remember.
I did Raw. He won clean against Jeff Hardy.
Well, no, this week was Matt Hardy.
Oh, wasn't Matt Hardy?
Well, Jeff Hardy's still hurt. Yeah, Jeff
Hardy's
still hurt.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah. No, yeah. He beat Matt Hardy. I think it was for the Intercontinental title. Dude, I don't see it. But the one person that is a face now is a guy that we've been saying for at least the majority of this year he should be a fucking baby face, and that's Mr. Good Old Braun Strowman there.
Well, they need to book him like they would. Okay, book him how everyone booked Andre back in the 80s, up until Hogan. But book him as a babyface. Book him as like the gentle giant that just fucks people up. Like have him be the guy that all the kids are like, oh wow, he's cool. You always like, obviously if you get like a huge you have him against a baby face, another baby face, like a big popular guy. Like if you have him against, if you ever like book him and Finn Balor or AJ Styles, obviously he would be the heel. But for right now, have him be a baby face. The guy's popular. The guy's over. Like he should right now. The way they've been booking the rest of the faces, and I say this with finger quotes, no one is as interesting or as dominant looking. And if you want a guy that can, carry your company going forward, I personally would go with Braun Strowman. He is charismatic. He's a big dude. He looks like somebody who's going to beat someone's ass, and he's had a lot of momentum going forward. They've been giving him since the beginning of the year. They've been giving recycling old Stone Cold spots. So why not book him like he's fucking Stone Cold?
You know what? It's funny that you say that, because I really thought about it. When I saw the garbage truck on Monday, because for those that didn't watch Monday Night Raw, we'll fill you in here. Basically, the whole show was built around The Miz freaking out because he saw a pile of garbage in his dressing room, and he thought to himself, garbage truck, it's Braun Strowman, he's coming back, let me go talk to my old teammates. And Kane, Cesaro, Sheamus are all like, there's no team, you're on your own, blah 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 blah. So it led to the end of the show where it's okay, we gotta leave, we gotta get in our limo, and then you see a garbage truck pull out. It's a little the way it came out was a little hokey. Garbage truck comes out, opens the door, the back of the fucking thing, guards files out, and here comes Braun doing his thing. And which, by the way, I also would like to point out, they were building around the whole show of, oh, Braun's gone, he's not coming back, we locked him away in the garbage truck, no one's gonna see him ever again. I hope everyone realizes in the WWE that you're in Baltimore, Maryland, which is maybe a 5-6 hour drive from New York, which in theory to some people is not a lot. And just the day before, Braun Strowman was taking autographs in fucking Caroline's on Broadway at 11 o'clock in the morning with Finn Balor, Alexa Bliss, and Big Cass So people knew he was around. And people knew back then, well, Sunday, that he was coming back on Monday. So I hated when they were like, oh, he's never coming back. We never see him again. Motherfucker, the Marks saw him. If the Marks saw him, they know. That's like the equivalent where, like, back in the day, I'll tell this story really briefly. Do you remember when Batista and Triple H had their little feud back in like '05? Alright, so they did the Hell in a Cell match, right? And the idea was that Triple H was supposed to be gone from like July to like June to like October of '05. And they're like, oh, Triple H has severe injuries. And I'm at Raw in East Rutherford one month. It was, I think it was like a week after or 2 weeks after 4th of July, whatever. And they're on the show. They're like, oh, Triple H ain't coming back. He's injured and all this. Meanwhile, once cameras stopped rolling, the dark match main event was Batista and Cena against JBL and Triple H. Meanwhile, I'm 13 years old, and I'm thinking to my dad, I'm talking to my dad, and I'm looking, and I thought he's hurt. I thought he's supposed to be injured.
Nope.
Like, I hate
that's
that.
That's the problem with WWE.
Lazy. They're fucking lazy to detail.
But that's what they do, though. It's like, oh, he's hurt. He's not shoot hurt. He's kayfabe hurt. So you know what? Instead of like playing that off, so you know it's more impactful when the fucking guy comes back. Oh no, we'll have him in a dark match. Oh no, he'll be signing autographs. Oh no, he'll be fucking like right on the side, like in the crowd or like within like any view of the fucking crowd. It's fine.
Yeah.
They do that all the fucking time, and it's so mind-boggling how stupid it is. Like at least and we get it. We all know it's a work, but at the very least, make it somewhat consistent. Make the continuity work. Don't just pull some bullshit where we don't care. He's gonna be signing autographs like right out the like in a convention hall like the day before a big show, you know. Oh man,
that would be like almost like if like they say in like the Star Wars, Han Solo died, and then like and then like
Han Solo like just
and then, like,
chilling out,
yeah,
like, as one of the extras in like one of the other scenes.
Yeah, and then like in like the next movie, they're like he's just kind of then like the next Star Wars, he's kind of like really a stormtrooper, and like you kind of see him, but you kind of don't. But
he's like hanging out in one of the other scenes, like he's like an extra. Like Rick and Morty, they'll have like characters in the background, like they'll have like a Mr. Meeseeks.
Oh yeah,
and he's like waving in the background. It'd be like that. Like you just have like, oh yeah, he died brutally in the last movie. And he's just waving in the background. Like kind of like a Where's Waldo.
You know where I've seen this too? I've seen this kind of lazy to detail shit. I this is a little bit of the reverse, but I've seen this actually with The Walking Dead, where like there was this character. This is like I'm going seasons back, like maybe like 2 or 3, like season 2 or 3. Way before the Saviors and all that bullshit started. But like I remember there was one. It was pointed out to me when the character Dwight was interested into the show, where the guy with the blonde hair and the melted face and all that, he kind of looks like a dejected version of the singer from Nickelback. He was actually a walker like 2 or 3 seasons prior to him coming on the show and being a character. And I'm like, yeah, that's the reverse of this, but it's still like the attention to detail where you could tell it's almost like WWE with Jinder Mahal.
Well, it's the same thing what they've always done. Like look how many times they've taken a character and not put a mask on the guy, and then they paraded him out like he's a new character, and be like, oh no, he's he's a completely new character. We just gave him a wig. We didn't put a mask on him or anything. Like, how many... Okay, point example. Kane. How many times did they reuse him without putting a mask on him? And they finally had the bright idea of, hey, maybe we should put the fucking mask on the guy.
Well, you know, his idea of getting the mask on was, I'm tired of shaving my head bald. Where he was like... Because not for nothing, can you blame the guy when he's thinking to himself, he's like, alright, I'm pushing 50. He's thinking to himself like 5 years ago, alright, I'm like 45 here. I'm like fucking genetically, you know, I'm gonna genetically supposedly decline in a couple years, but my hair is still intact. I'm not getting a receding hairline just yet. Let me grow this shit out while I could. I don't blame him fucking doing that. That's to me.
I'm talking about the fucking Diesel, the fake Diesel, and the fucking Isaac Yankem, where he looked exact. And when they everyone knew who fucking Prince Albert was, and they're like, oh no, he's Lord Tensei.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. You know what though? I love like one of the reasons why Matt Stryker. Because I miss Matt Stryker WWE so much, but I loved like the little comment that he made one time where like Kane was in a match. It was like a SmackDown or like, even maybe Sunday Night Heat, and Kane's in the ring, and Matt Stryker's like, I wonder if there's any relation between Kane and Isaac Yankem. Like, completely exploiting it, and then like he got a little like slapped on the wrist for doing that, but meanwhile they like do like a Monday Night Wars documentary on the network where like Dean Ambrose and like Rollins and like everybody's just like saying, yeah, Kane was a dentist. Everyone was occupations. You had a garbage man. Kane was a dentist. You know, so but yeah, no, I see your point with that. Like, we gotta be, we're gonna keep the people in contracts, but I don't know. I guess it's trying to find something to do, but at the same time, it's if you're running a TV show specifically, it doesn't matter if it's WWE or Impact or Ring of Honor or Walking Dead, fucking Game of Thrones, Rick and Morty, fucking, whatever. Have attention to detail. Know your audience isn't that stupid. Now, I hate to say this, but if you're pulling off shows, I don't know, like a SpongeBob, or like, whatever, where little kids are watching it, you could probably get away with it better, but even then, you got 6-year-olds using iPhones nowadays, so maybe it's best to step it up a little bit.
Well, that's WWE. Speaking of Kane, there's more coming out about the Finn Balor match from last week.
Okay.
Apparently, a lot of people in the backstage are not happy about it.
The Kane like bitching out Finn.
Yeah.
So who's...
A lot of people are pissed off about it. Apparently, according to to Meltzer, he didn't name names, but a good majority of the locker room was not happy about it. They, because obviously it's the same connotations that Punk brought up years ago. It's a 50-year-old guy. It's on his edge of retirement that had to bury a guy who was still in his prime. I get it because he was in his normal form. He's not the demon, but still to bitch out a guy that's one of the top guys in your company, and especially on this is like the Raw right after your major pay-per-view. This isn't a Raw in the middle of the month. This is a major Raw. This is this is the thing that gets people the first Raw people see before, like the first pay-per-view, first Raw after a pay-per-view, and this is like the main one that's setting up all the feuds going forward to Survivor Series. So to have him like destroy one of your top guys doesn't make sense. And apparently a lot of people were really annoyed. There was a quote that said like one of the boys in the back said, well, a lot of times we defend Vince McMahon, but this time I think he completely whipped on decision making.
I'm gonna be a little. I know I'm crazy. I may be crazy for this, but the whole reason why I didn't really think much of it was two reasons. Okay, first off, if he was in the makeup, it was in the demon. I'm the demon, Balor. And then he lost to Kane, then I'd be pissed. But if it's the normal, extraordinary man, which extraordinary things, and which I hate when they say that. But if that version of Finn Balor, I hate to say it, loses a lot. I mean, that's the one thing. That's the one difference between the Balor the man and Balor the demon, is that Balor the man is like beatable. So it's not like anything new. And second, too, they're putting Kane in a program with Braun, and it was to give Kane some momentum because Kane loses all the time as well. So they're like, okay, let's get Kane a couple wins for like a month so we could feed him to Braun. So there's a long-term plan to push another young guy.
He could have just went out and like fucked up the Shield or something.
I would have done instead on that night, because people are making a big deal about it. Like I said, I don't care. But I understand why people would be upset, because the younger guy. Matt Hardy wasn't doing shit last week. Why didn't you just put Matt Hardy in the ring? At least there was like an old story there, and you could have, like rekindled something with that, and at least do like, if you're gonna do a side feud with Kane, make it fucking Matt Hardy for now, since Jeff is out. I think no one would have a problem. Honestly, I think no one would have a problem with two guys in like their 40s to 50s who, like, for like the Member Berry fans, they'll be like, oh yeah, okay, fine. I'm more okay even then with like a nostalgia act with either guy going over, as opposed to like why people are pissed off with Finn and Kane, where it's like Finn just loses like that. So.
I think this is the problem that I think is driving a lot of these talents away. It's you have these guys that are gonna be, they just show up, and as soon as they show up, it's like they automatically get whatever's happening just goes out the fucking window. Like you show up in your Goldberg, your Brock Lesnar, you get whatever you get, and you get like a huge push or championship, whatever the fuck you want, and these guys are busting their asses. And I mean, we sound like a broken record, but come on. These guys bust their asses on the indies, they bust their asses in developmental, and they get nothing. And these guys that haven't been wrestling for months, years, decades, they come back, and it's like, oh, well, you automatically get a title shot. Like, what the fuck? Like, at least prove that you're still as good as you used to be. And there are like that's the problem I have with wrestling now. It doesn't like play like a sport. Like if there was some kind of like logic to it, there's like some internal logic, some kind of rules. Like if you're a boxer, you don't like if you were a former champion years and years ago, you don't automatically go back when you decide to unretire and fight whoever's the reigning champion. It doesn't work like that. They could possibly book you if like the reigning champion decides that he wants the match, but you have to fight. You have to go through like all the other contenders first before you become the number one contender to to a title, and wrestling doesn't do that. Like their internal logic is, oh, we're sports entertainment. We don't have to have a fucking logic.
Right. But I mean, we were just pointing out, a few minutes ago, TV shows sometimes lack some logic. Does that mean it's acceptable? No, it means everyone should fucking step up and be a little smarter to detail on these little fucking things, because if your fans catch it, you should catch it. It's no difference than anything else in the world.
Oh, I mean, no, well, the Rick and Morty thing was, like, intentional. Like, they did that as,
no, I'm not talking about, I'm talking about other, but, like, other shows that are guilty of doing shit, I watch.
A lot of times they're just lazy and they don't think anyone will catch it. And that's the whole difference between, like, it's a difference between accidents, because shit happens. Sometimes, like, there's some, like, it happens in animation and happens in TV shows. Sometimes there's stuff that doesn't gel together, and you notice some kind of continuity errors. Wrestling doesn't give a shit about continuity, and never has. WWE will basically retroactively create their own continuity whenever the fuck they feel like it. So they don't care about making anything like make sense from match to match. And I remember you saying this a while ago, and I was watching something on YouTube, and I remember you saying, "Well, New Japan doesn't have great storytelling." The fuck it doesn't. I was watching. So it was like a kind of like a mini documentary about like Tetsuya Naito. Dude, the continuity in that, like the reason he fucking hated Nakamura and the belt.
Well, I think you and I like kind of put together the shit, but what's the official reason?
The official reason was, remember when he had his title, like he had won the G1?
I thought so. Yeah, because there was a fan vote. Yeah, because there was a fan vote where it was the crowd got to vote what was the main event for Wrestle Kingdom. That was in 2014, so Wrestle Kingdom 8. Yeah, so the main event, Wrestle Kingdom 8, they had a vote. Would it have been Okada versus Naito for the world title, or would it have been Nakamura against Tanahashi for the IC title? And it was voted as Nakamura against Tanahashi.
Yeah, and the whole reason that he hates Tanahashi, and it's like anytime he faces Tanahashi, he just goes into blind rage. And they went into the whole like psychology behind it, the storytelling, and this is why that G1 was so important, was because it was basically a rematch, because Naito only gets so close to main eventing a Wrestle Kingdom, and he always gets knocked back. He's never in the end, all his tranquilo and in being relaxed and being like a slacker that he doesn't give a shit. It's all him trying to finally be calm enough and cool enough that he can be the number one guy, because he always says it. He always says that he's the number one guy in New Japan, and he went from being this guy that was supposed to be like Tanahashi too, and he became his own man. And it's like it's this whole interlocking story that's been going on for like almost 4 years, and you see it, like you see every iteration of it, and it's like, this is what WWE needs to do. They don't do shit like this. They don't have like an interlocking story that has stakes and some like they don't have something like that. They don't have there's no, so, you didn't have, like, the most that they ever did was they had for like 6 months they had that Daniel Bryan storyline where he, we all know what happened in the WrestleMania, but can you imagine a storyline like the Daniel Bryan storyline going on for like almost 4 years, and then having finally having a payoff at a Wrestle Kingdom where he failed at Wrestle Kingdom 8, and now he's getting his shot at Wrestle Kingdom 12.
See, I'm all fucking for a slow build, but like we live in the area where like unless it's a 15-second Instagram story, no one gives a fuck. So instant gratification is basically what WWE also tries to run off of too, because like I remember back in during that build between 2013 where like I caught on that they were gonna give him the belt, that they were really gonna go through with it around Elimination Chamber, because when he didn't win that shit, and I was like, okay, I kind of catch on. They're gonna give him his moment at Mania instead. I know it wasn't in the plans at first, but they fucking finally listened to the uproar of people. But like people were complaining, oh, why didn't he get the belt at SummerSlam? Why didn't he get the belt in Night Champions? So you'd rather him get the belt right away at a pay-per-view that people are gonna easily forget, as opposed to a big moment in front of like 80,000 people in a fucking stadium that like everyone and their grandmother fucking travels to from other countries to go see every single damn year. You'd rather him win at some like fucking pay-per-view no one cares about in like Indianapolis, Indiana, as opposed to a big stadium and just wait a couple months. So I don't know. I hate this whole like idea in WWE, and because it's not always WWE itself. It is the marks and the people that follow it that like everything has to be now. It has to be now. It can't be.
Sometimes it is. Sometimes it is. If they have a longer, if they have a longer story ready to go, I'm all for it. But if it smells like something is like, oh no, we're just burying this guy, because that's the other.
Sure.
That's the flip side of it too. Because look what they fucking did to like moments when someone should get the belt. Like honestly, Braun probably should have got the belt. No mercy.
I'm gonna say this. What would you have rathered? Did I want him to win too? Of course. He's one of my favorites, of course. But you gotta think about it.
Did you want the belt then? Do you want somebody who has the belt that looks like he could kill anyone in the...
Yeah! At WrestleMania! At where it matters!
Yeah,
no one gives...
Not even book him at WrestleMania. That's the fucking flip side of it. Because you don't know... That's the problem with WWE. We don't know their fucking plans long term. WWE doesn't make good fucking decisions long term. That's why people get fucking antsy. I'm fine with Japan, because I know they have fucking plans going forward. I don't care if Kenny Omega doesn't get the belt now. He might get it fucking 2 years from now, and it'll be fucking fantastic.
Right, and that's
the thing.
And that was another thing. I know, I have some friends, and I know people, that are Red Bullet Club fans and Kenny Omega fans and all that, and like, oh, how come he didn't get the title right away? How come he didn't get the belt yet? I hate to break this to you, but the guy's got time. He's not. I don't think he's going anywhere. They're gonna fit him into the plans. Don't worry. He's not
He wasn't even in the plans. He just had how many phenomenal matches in the course of a year.
Think about this too. This guy went from being, because I used to see this guy in rec centers and in fucking charter schools and everything 9 years ago, and even like even still a little bit like 6 or 7 years ago too. This guy was doing, he was working, fucking small arenas. He's working in PWG like 3 years ago. To now, he's like this hot commodity where if you know Kenny Omega's on the card, you know it's going to be a sellout crowd. So he really like became a superstar just on his own merit through New Japan. Whether it was always in their plans or not, which it probably wasn't. Let's be fair here. They finally got him as the superstar to where even if he does have the belt or not, what does it matter? He's over. Enjoy him. He's the U.S. champion. Let it mean something. It's a new title. It's a historic belt.
How much of a prestige is that to have? Like, they have a brand new title, and you're the first champion.
Yeah, because think about this. Because I want someone to think about this. I don't know if you know this or not. I know this because when they did a little tournament that I went to for New Japan for the first ever IWGP Intercontinental title 6 years ago. Do you know who the first champion was?
Nakamura.
No, the very first champion. It was crowned in 2011.
I gotta look that up. Who was it?
MVP.
Oh, yeah, it was MVP.
The one problem with that was, at the time, was he somewhat of a decent deal in Japan? Yeah, sure, but there was no, there was no real plans with him going forward. So it's like, oh yeah, MVP is the first ever Intercontinental champion. It's almost like, now it's looking in hindsight, it's almost like, why? Yeah, it is almost like looking like, why? But, I mean, I guess that falls on his shoulders because he really didn't do much outside of Japan after that.
Yeah, that's the difference between him and the members of the Bullet Club now, because they have so much they have so much popularity now because of, like the majority of the internet knows about them. They have product placements and t-shirts, and they appear everywhere. You don't know where and when any of the members of the Bullet Club can fucking come out. You could be watching like a smaller indie, and you could see a fucking Bullet Club member just pop out. You never know. That's the thing about wrestling, and I think that's what is better about like a lot of these, like the Bullet Club and a lot of these indie guys. So you can see, like, if you go to a show, you can see like members of the Bullet Club. You can see Los Ingobernables. You can see members from Suzuki at different shows. Because the thing is, wrestling has become globalized, and it's gone back to, in a lot of ways, it's gone back to the territory roots.
I mean, in a way, like, obviously because of WWE, you have the whole independent contractors, but you're going to work here. Ring of Honor, though, they have a lot of exclusive contracts. Japan, Japan's more like, you're a promotion, you work with us, we'll work with you. Trust me, you're not going to see Japan superstars wrestle in places in, like, I don't know, Pat Buck's promotion, or, like, PWG. You're not going to see a lot of them there. You'll see some Lucha guys. Lucha guys, I feel like, more so are the talents nowadays that get more work in other smaller indies, as opposed to, I don't know, you bring in Suzuki, you bring in anyone from LIJ, you gotta be really fucking good. You gotta be a Ring of Honor level indie. You can't just be, Oh, we bring about like 400 or 500 people in on a random Saturday, and you know, every month. So I don't know. Let's see here, but anyway, let's get into a lot of the news topics. And one thing, let's just start from the top here. WWE cut some people off from the herd. We got the releasings this week of Darren Young, Summer Rae, and the surprising one, Emma. Your thoughts?
Okay, the thing with Emma was, okay, if you're gonna release her anyway, why'd you need to make her look good? Like, she had 2 really competitive matches with the one woman you're supposed to be trying to make look like a monster, and you released her anyway.
I know. If there was a long-term plan for Emma, I was all for a competitive match, but like, in a way, I don't know. It's weird. It should have. If they were gonna build her up as something, there was a legit long-term plan for her to get the belt eventually. Okay, yeah, fine. That's cool that she had held her own against Asuka, but there was no long-term plan. It should have been a squash match. A fucking week later, you let her go.
Oh,
the other two, good riddance. I mean, does it suck when people lose their jobs? I would only say that if there was nothing for you else to do. But there's a lot of shit out there to do in wrestling. There's a lot of shit to do outside of wrestling nowadays. You'll find work.
Yeah, well, Summer Rae I don't think is gonna find work.
I think she's going into modeling.
You know what? Good for her, because you know what? Wrestling. She's not a good wrestler. She wasn't a good valet. I think she's better just doing, you know, like modeling or something, or whatever the hell Eva Marie is doing, she can do too.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know how charismatic she is, but I mean, if she could ever be an actress, hey, why not? Stacy Keibler did it.
Darren Young, he's an okay talent. I could see him end up going to like.
I honestly see Pat Buck picking him up. And it's not a joke. I'm being like 100% serious. Even though I don't like Pat Buck and WrestlePro, I could see them picking him up because, you know.
I could also see him going to Impact, yeah.
There's some rumblings about all that shit too, in going on in Impact that we gotta talk about. I mean, I guess, but if this was three years ago, I would say yes, they would pick Darren Young up in a heartbeat. But Jack Swagger and Ryback are still floating around. They're not even in Impact yet, and some of their friends are in Impact. So yeah, I think Darren Young's just gonna be on a lot of indies. Emma,
yeah, I mean, he was an okay talent. I mean, he was not, the problem with him was he was never really that charismatic, and they tried to do a lot with like that whole remember this, they were doing that gimmick where he was they paired him up with Bob Backlund.
We're gonna make Darren Young great again, even though he was never great to begin with. It's not. I'm not shitting on the guy. I'm just being serious. You were a tag team champion that everyone forgot you were a tag team champion. That doesn't mean you were great. If he did that promo, I know what I've been alright with. If they did that, and I was saying this for a while, if they did that Bob Backlund gimmick with anybody, it could have been Jack Swagger. Because think about it.
That would have made more sense.
His manager left, former world heavyweight champion, all-American talent, U.S. champion, all this shit, and he's just doing dark matches, and he's just lower on the card, and he's gone off of Raw and SmackDown for so long, and what do we do with him? Bob Backlund discovers him, and he goes, you know what, kid? I see potential in you. You could be a superstar again. We'll make Jack Swagger great again. And it's perfect because the whole, like, he came off of, like, the whole Boston Tea Party thing with Dutch Mantel. And, you know, now Bob Backlund picks him up, so he's still sticking with that, like, American-style gimmick. That would have worked. That would have worked tremendously. But, you know, it's WWE not, you know, they think out of their ass, not with their brains. And when it comes to the woman, they think with the wrong head.
Ooh. Tell us how you really feel, Bubby.
Hey, I'm being honest here. But Emma, I think she's a girl that I feel like between the three of them, she has the most potential to do anything she wants. You want to do modeling? Oh, no one's gonna fucking appease that. You go right ahead. You want to do you want to go pro wrestling? Go right ahead. You know, if I were Ring of Honor and I was Joe Koff, the COO or CEO or whatever of Ring of Honor and Sinclair Broadcast, I'd bring her in on Women of Honor. I'd hurry the fuck up and bring her in because that show that they have, it's like they air it on like YouTube's on like a Wednesday, and it's just women's matches. They need a name, kind of. And Emma's someone right now that you could pick up to where people go, oh, I gotta watch this.
I would give her a different name, though.
You're gonna get... They will. And I don't recommend using her real name. Her real name is Tennille Dashwood. You could give her something better.
I mean, they could call her Tanner Dashwood or something.
I like that. Tanner Dashwood. I mean, I wouldn't be alright. I wouldn't mind Emma Dashwood. Because at least it's something somewhat like when people see the name, they think, oh, Emma Dashwood, oh, Emma. You know, because like if you put on the bill Tanner Dashwood, it would be like, who? And then you see her face, oh, yeah. But I think people get too confused because you know how wrestling fans are sometimes. Yeah,
that's true.
You know, but hey, man, you know,
as long as we don't get Simma Ray in doing anything wrestling related, because she's literally,
she's not good. She's not. Look,
yeah, she's cancer. Speaking of cancer, let's talk about the Ultimate Warrior.
All right, I know this isn't like a subject that. Well, first off, this is kind of a reason why I wish Bubby was on to talk about this, because there's two things on here I wanted him to talk about, and funny enough, I wasn't doing this to be a dick, but one of the things does have to do with Hogan and Beefcake, not just because he loves them, but you know,
he loves them so much. He just wants to give them a big.
Oh, Bubby, I'm so heartbroken. I'm so heartbroken, Bubby. But well, actually, let's mention that real quick. Basically, Hogan and Beefcake, there's a likelihood that they're no longer friends anymore. Beefcake is someone like coming out with a book, and he's gonna like slander Hogan, and supposedly there's some shit where like Beefcake's ex-wife and like Hogan befriending his ex-wife and you know daughter or whatever. So,
oh God.
Yeah, there's some there's some fucking shit there. You know it's fucking
Well, I've heard they haven't been friends since Beefcake was selling like he was like selling knockoff Hogan gear or something.
You probably.
So yeah, that's been like over like 8 or 9 years that apparently they've been not had anything to do with each other, I guess.
And I find it funny that he's actually under a licensing deal with WWE.
Oh, Beefcake?
Yeah, because he's in they have his likeness in 2K, and they this week at the the signings that Finn and Braun were at, called Ringside Fest. They had shown a beefcake figure, but oddly enough, in Hulk Hogan attire. He's in the good old red and yellow bullshit. But yeah, I didn't even know that they were. That shows how little I paid attention to it. I didn't even know they were like they stopped being friends.
Oh yeah, years ago. I was reading about it. Like apparently, Beefcake was he was selling shit out. I think he was like selling shit out of his car or something, and he had like a whole bunch of like I forget parts of the story, but he was like selling Hogan like merch, and he was it either was fake or it was real stuff, and Hogan wasn't getting any cut of it. So I think that was what caused a rift between the two.
I'm just looking it up. That like there's a lot of shit that like okay, so like back in like March 11th, 2016 from WrestleZone, Brutus Beefcake upset his wife mentioned in Hogan trial. Yeah, there you go. 2015, former WWE superstar caught selling unauthorized photos of Hogan. Hogan calls out Beefcake for selling unauthorized photo. Okay, yeah, so this happened about maybe 2 years ago, whatever. Beefcake to sue Hogan's ex-wife Linda. Alright, yes, it's just an ongoing thing.
Yeah, well, to be honest, anyone that's friends with Hogan tends to get like kind of.
Does Hogan have any friends left? Does he have
no,
any...
I don't think he does. I don't think he does.
Is like Brian Knobs his only friend? Like,
you know what? Probably like the only people that are like still call him friend is probably anyone from the NWO but they probably don't hang out with him enough.
I not really, because think about it this way. I don't really think so. You know who I think is his probably only real friend? Eric Bischoff.
Oh my god.
Because, and here's why I don't think the NWO, because let's think of this. Hogan and X-Pac clearly don't like each other. Now, you have Razor and Scott, well, Razor and Scott, wow. You have Razor and Kevin, who, they're not gonna fucking, they're not gonna like, they're not gonna unfriend fucking Sean Waltman, who they've been hanging around since like fucking 1993. They're not gonna fucking turn their backs on him. They only became friends with Hogan working with them in WCW, so they're gonna think to themselves, okay, well, if we gotta pick a side, who are we picking? No, there's no fucking brainer. We're gonna hang around fucking Sean Waltman here. At least Sean Waltman. Yeah, he got a little into the drugs and, you know, all this stuff, but the guy is a fucking cool dude. Hogan has a bad reputation. So, for not just stabbing promoters and, you know, and people in the back, his own fucking friends in the back. So, of course, they're gonna, like, be cool with him, but not really talk to him 24/7. So, I really feel like his only real friend is Eric Bischoff. Jimmy Hart, yeah, probably. Maybe Jimmy Hart, but even then, I think Jimmy Hart kind of got tired of his shit, too. So...
yeah, I kind of want to see what
I kind of want to see.
If you put in a Hulk Hogan friends, like how many people
I gotta look this up. Does Hulk... I'm just gonna Google this. Does Hulk Hogan have any friends?
Oh god, you can just see like a lonely like picture. Like remember like the sad Keanu picture?
Okay.
Just like they're like feeding birds. So you just like Photoshop Hulk Hogan's head on that picture.
Would you trust an article from October 14th, 2016, 8 wrestlers who were Hogan's friends and 7 who were his enemies?
I guess.
It's from a year ago.
Sportster article or something?
Yes.
Oh, I fucking hate Sportster.
Alright, let's see. Well, I'm gonna read the list. There's 15 names. I'm gonna read the list, and we'll do like a quick yes or no on what we would think would happen within a year. So number 15, friend Jim Duggan.
I think that's more of a friendship with. That's more of a one-sided friendship with probably Duggan.
You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna refer to Duggan as an acquaintance of Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
Because you know what? A friend. Because you know who was his friend? Piper. Duggan became friends with Piper after the Legends House stuff. That's who you would someone that you talk to almost every day, or like a few times a week. Because I don't think you're gonna talk every day if you're a wrestler in your 60s or 70s. I think you're gonna like talk to them every other day or whatever, or maybe a few times a month. I really don't think Jim goes out of his way to talk to Hogan that much. Enemy Shawn, we already knew that. Shawn Michaels. 13, friend Virgil.
Oh no.
I could kind of see that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could kind of see that.
Yeah, that's the bottom of the list, ain't it? That's the bottom of the fucking list, isn't it? We are so desperate for friends that you're friends with fucking Virgil.
You're like the fucking top star of the 80s, and like you're pissed off. Like some of them are dead, and like you pissed off everybody else. You're like, hey Virgil, remember when you were good? Remember, you're like, I always thought you were like the best, brother. Like you could have been Intercontinental champion, and you know I would have put you over, brother. And Virgil's just like sitting there, like, yeah, Hulk, it's all about that fuck money, baby. 12, enemy Bret Hart. We already knew that. I don't buy this 1 minute. Friends Greg Valentine, Mr. Emotion. That guy has no fucking emotion. How the hell is he?
Even there, it says didn't really spend that much time with interacting with Hulk Hogan. So we're basically just going, oh yeah, well, you know, they might have like.
You're going off of people that like seldomly liked Hogan, not like people. When I think of a friend, I think of like the clique level. I don't think of like, oh, you mean, you know, I really didn't like, you know, go out and go out to the bar or the strip clubs with the guy, but you know, he was cool. He was cool to work with. You know, he did his job right. It's not a friendship. That's an acquaintance.
That's an acquaintanceship or like a coworker.
Yeah, that's like a fucking
colleague.
Yeah, it's a colleague. All right, enemy Jesse Ventura. We already knew that.
Yeah, that's well. Obviously, you know the shit he did to him, and then did to Macho Man because Ventura was friends with him.
Friend. Okay, number 9, friend Mr. T.
I can sort of see that.
You think they're still? Yeah, maybe they're still talking.
I don't know.
Yeah, maybe they're still talking. Alright, I wouldn't really clarify them as an enemy anymore. I hate to say it. Number 8, Ric Flair.
I don't see them hanging out or anything, and I think there's some mutual animosity there, but it's not like how it was back in the early 90s, so...
Yeah. This number seven, number 7 friend, Bobby Heenan. Yeah, that I could have seen.
Gone.
That I could have seen. Oh, come on. Number 6, enemy Honky Tonk Man. So I'm sitting in a room here at like 3 in the morning drinking Jack Daniels with the Iron Sheik and New Jack, and we ain't got nothing else better to do. Oh man, I hate his fucking shooter. This guy could like promise you the world and expect you to like believe him, and he'll go, well, why do people think I'm bullshitting? Yeah, because fucking...
Because you most likely are.
Because does anyone really think that you were gonna be more than what you were? Not really. Alright, this I see. Friend number 5, The Rock.
Yeah, but again, I don't really see them as being like pals. Like I don't see The Rock actively hanging out with Hulk Hogan.
You know what though? I will say if The Rock had fucking CM Punk's number on his phone, you never know.
I guess.
Oh, this is a work. This is a fucking work. This whole list is a work. Number 4, the Iron Sheik. These motherfuckers hugged each other. Oh, here we go. Number 3, his only friend, Eric Bischoff. his only real friend left. He pissed everyone else away. Oh, number 2, you're gonna love this one.
The motherfucker, Hulk Hogan.
Mr. Shoney's himself, Scott Steiner. And the number 1 friend, who's now his enemy, Brutus the Barber Beefcake.
Oh, yeah, proving once again Hulk Hogan has no friends other than Eric Bischoff.
Yep, and Virgil.
Oh my God! Could you imagine Hulk Hogan's birthday? He's just like sitting by himself, and he has Virgil and Eric Bischoff.
Oh, that'll. Hey, if Hogan gets on the good graces with WWE, that'll be your next table for 3. and the title of it will be Table for 3, Hulk Hogan's birthday.
And Virgil. No, it's a birthday party, and the table for 3 is at it's at Olive Garden.
Hogan's like, oh, why couldn't I pick the place in Tampa, brother? And Virgil's like, this is the only place I agree on. I love the Olive Garden. I love the meat sauce. It's all about that fuck money, baby.
He has like a bag, and he just keeps stuffing the cheesy the cheesy bread into his bag, the breadsticks.
Oh, that's fantastic.
He's like just dumping in the meat sauce into the bag too. He's just like, yeah, I'm having this for my dinner later on. That's the only time I'll be able to eat. And then we find out the bag is actually his wife.
Oh! I gotta bring this food home for my dog. Me and my wife.
Virgil, we know you live in a cardboard box. Stop saying that you have a dog. Oh, I gotta get going. Yeah, you know why he was making fun of Jinder Mahal with the 7-Eleven? Because he lives outside of the 7-Eleven, like literally in the fucking gutter.
Oh man, I love that one video that I showed you, from like a few years ago, where that YouTube guy Grim like brought Virgil into his house.
Why would you do that? It's like a fucking vampire. You don't invite it in. He'll never leave.
It's like a gremlin.
Yeah, you don't feed it after midnight. Oh God! What? Why would you invite him to your house? That's so fucking. Because they'll just keep coming back. They'll just keep coming back. He has nowhere else to go.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, imagine just calling people up. Hey, can I come back over your house?
No, Virgil, you pissed on the rug. Oh no, that's what I do in my house. Your house is it's a cardboard box outside 7-Eleven. So can I take a shower at your house too? Yeah, I'm a little scrubby right now. I'll bring my table. Do you think his house is just a cardboard box outside of 7-Eleven, and he just has that fucking Virgil Superstar table right next to it? He just like lives in the cardboard box, and he has like the table like right next to it. And he's like, he sets up the table like outside the 7-Eleven. He's just like calmly waiting there. He's like, "Yeah, I used to be a superstar. Ted DiBiase will be here soon."
Yeah, Ted DiBiase will show up outside this box. Just you wait.
He'll give me $1 million.
I'm still like baffled that like Mattel actually like got their shit together and like they actually put together the cardboard sign that says WWE Superstar Virgil. like no one else would have had the balls to done that. They're just acknowledging that this guy's a fucking joke.
Oh god, that's horrible though. Like, could you imagine that you're making fucking ton of money? Probably not in WWF, but I mean like WCW, they were throwing money away like it was fucking tissue paper. But how do you blow through all that money, and then you hit such destitution that you fucking constantly losing your fucking mind? You're talking about meat sauce, fuck money, and cheesy bread. Oh no! And apparently that's Hulk Hogan's one of his best friends. So Hulk,
yeah. It's his only friend now.
You really picked your friends there. You really picked your friends.
Oh, that's all that was left, brother.
Oh man.
Anyway, we went from that was good. You know, that was pretty good. We went from that to do you want to jump right in now to the whole Ultimate Warrior thing?
Oh yeah, I was watching.
Alright.
Just tell the listeners what the whole thing is about.
Alright, so for those who don't know who Wade Keller is, Wade Keller, to my understanding, is he's kind
of like the other Dave Meltzer.
Yeah, like he's from the Pro Wrestling Torch. I'm pretty sure he's still with the Pro Wrestling Torch, and you know he I wouldn't say he's like a scrub. There's people that associate with him still, but yeah, basically what happened here is that like for the past month, Susan G. Komen, WWE still partners with them, which is already a crooked company, but that's beside the point. They had a t-shirt. They had t-shirts made of Unleash Your Warrior, and basically Dana Warrior was like the head like spokesperson and like promoter behind the whole campaign, and you know, which whatever, you know, I would have been more for that if it was not Susan G. Komen, if it was another organization, but whatever. So they had these shirts, and then Wade Keller is just like saying, "Hey, you know, like Ultimate Warrior would like talk shit about like Bobby Heenan like having cancer and like make jokes about it, right?" And you basically saying like, "Hey, like Warrior," basically trying to paint Warrior while he's dead as a guy that like was shitty to people who had cancer, which nothing for nothing. People need to understand something. What happened between Bobby and Warrior is what happened between Bobby and Warrior. He was flat out fucking talking shit about Bobby Heenan. He never was talking shit about fucking some random girl from from fucking upstate New York who had fucking titty cancer. He's clearly talking about someone that had genuine heat with.
Titty cancer.
I got the joke from Soup.
Oh my god.
That's what they've been calling it.
Look, I'll make fun of kids with super cancer and the Mexicans with the earthquake, and I kind of don't make fun of breast cancer. I've had family members with that.
I'm not making fun of it.
You were.
But
I think you were, you piece of shit.
Oh, grow up. Grow up. Well, alright, breast cancer. So...
Thank you.
So, alright, so, yeah, sorry, that's, that is a reference to Soup. They say that shit all the fucking time. But,
yeah, but put it this way, I'm not for nothing, but Ultimate Warrior was a piece of shit. Like, I'm not gonna come out here and say Ultimate Warrior was a great Samaritan. No, but he was actively a piece of shit. Like, do you know what he said to Bobby Heenan about the cancer? He said it was karma. Like, someone's suffering from fucking throat cancer, and you're saying it's karma. And then the guy went on, like, this is the greatest hits of what Warrior said when he was alive. Homosexuals are the devil. I don't give a fuck about Hurricane Katrina victims. He even went on a rant about Dr. Martin Luther King. And you want this guy to be your cancer idol.
Look, I'm not saying that Warrior was this Samaritan and this good person, but at least, you know, I think what happened between him and Heenan, what happened between them. Look, yes, he said, was it nice what he said to Bobby? No, but was it nice for Bobby? We won't love Bobby Heenan, but was it nice for Bobby Heenan to go out there and fucking just destroy this guy? No. Doesn't mean that it was any fucking good either. If both wrongs don't make a right, and both of them were fucking wrong. But everyone else
suffering from fucking cancer. Like, how do you fucking go and if he said something derogatory about you, you don't go, oh no, it's cool, he's dying of cancer, he's getting what came to him. Who the fuck says that? And I understand he's, you shouldn't speak ill of the dead, but yeah, he was a piece of shit. Like, he was actively a piece of shit. Like, obviously, if a guy, and you can't just go, oh, well, everything is forgiven because he's dead now. It doesn't work like that. Like, obviously, WWE and the Susan B. Komen, breast cancer foundation should have been, smart enough to go, hey, maybe we should pick another guy,
I would have been fine with that. I would have definitely been fine with that, but you know what? Because here's, I'm gonna pull up what Dana Warrior was saying about her husband, because she was pretty much obviously she was gonna defend him, and WWE had something interesting to say as well, but she was saying pretty much stuff along the lines of, all right, let's see here, Dana. All right, I found the article. Okay. Let's see where she said. Alright, I will not disloyal to my husband's memory or speak ill of a man who is not here to defend himself. I can, however, tell you his heart was changed by conversations with his two daughters. The true testament of a man behind the character is his ability to evolve. My husband did just that. She's doing what she should have done to defend her husband. That's no question. Whether it be real or not, I don't know. It doesn't matter. But people do fucking change. Does it mean, oh, everything should be forgiven? Not really, no. Do I think maybe they should have chose someone else? Yeah, choose someone else. Don't wrap this cancer thing around the Warrior. It's blown to a proportion of, oh, he has a statue made, and that should be taken down, or that should be getting rid of. Not really.
I just don't think they should have made like he was like, especially they have the Warrior Trophy, and then now they have the this whole partnership with the Susan G. Komen Foundation. Why would you fucking use a guy that has actively been a piece of shit and has said all this fucking negative shit while he was alive as your for any awards, especially humanitarian awards or a breast cancer foundation? Why the fuck would you use this guy? Like, it's WWE's fault. And
I hate to say it.
I don't mean to disparage the guy, but yeah, he was a piece of shit. He has made this is one of the comments he said, "Queering don't make the world work."
I remember that.
Don't make the world work. Yeah.
I remember that. Just like he came out of retirement to feud with Orlando Jordan in fucking like New Zealand. I remember that match. Oh God, yeah. Well, again, I'm not defending the guy because whatever. All I'm saying is, I don't think he was going out there and saying, "Oh, you all got cancer, good for you." I think he had his shitty opinions. The guy wasn't right in the head. The guy fucking changed his name to Warrior, okay? He wasn't normal. He wasn't a normal human being. He changed his name legally to Warrior. So,
you know what worse? You know how he said about, I didn't realize what he had actually said. I know he said something bad about the Hurricane Katrina victims. He said they were all fat and poor and had what was coming to them.
I'm gonna look at it from this perspective. I'm gonna use the whole two wrongs don't make a right. Clearly there was something that drove him to say that because okay, for instance, if you had someone like the Iron Sheik who's in character and he's talking shit about people like that, yeah, that's just him being, or better example, Superstar Billy Graham, because he's a lovely person. If you had someone like Superstar Billy Graham saying shit like that, they'd be like, alright, yeah, Superstar Billy Graham's a piece of shit. Yeah, that's understandable. But if Ultimate Warrior, there must have been something that drove him to say that, because this was a guy who, the only reason why he was like, fuck you everybody, like, fuck you Hogan, fuck you to Bobby, because people were like, hey, fuck this guy fucking sucked. And that's where he turned around and defended himself. So clearly there must have been something that happened where this guy was driven to say something shitty. No, doesn't mean it's right. Shit, doesn't mean it's right. I don't. Even if he was
shit, like you can't see all this fucking shit and not like. I could see if you were like it was like a joke and somebody took it.
All right, I'll put it to you this way. Yes, okay, fine, I'll admit it. Yes, he was a piece of shit. However, pieces of shit can fucking grow up. Look at Randy Orton. This guy went from bumming cigarettes off of people and from fucking quitting the armed forces to now being a fucking father of 5 and having a nice family to go home to.
Yeah, but I mean, just because you have a family now doesn't mean that you weren't a piece of shit back then.
No, it's no. I'm not saying all should be forgiven. He's a human being. No, it's he grew up. He changed. I do think in the few past years, I do think from the time he met his current wife, or his now widow, I do think Warrior. Yeah, he was a piece of shit, but at least the guy fucking finally found a piece in his life where he could finally go, alright, yeah, I was an asshole, but you know what? Let me change who I am today. So I do think...
In 2008, he made fun of Heath Ledger, who he called Leather Hedger, and declared that no one should mourn for a drug user who started a gay propaganda film. Like, there's so many comments of him just like fucking like saying horrible shit. Like, how did no one do the research? How did no one do the research?
It's
That's like getting like you find out like somebody was you do this like huge foundation for some guy, and then you find out later on like, oh yeah, he was like a grand wizard in the KKK. But he's doing stuff for like prostate cancer, so it's fine.
You know what? I gotta be blunt here. You know what, Bubby? If you're listening to this later on, I gotta wave the white flag here. Now I know why you like Ricky Steamboat, because everyone else in the '80s was a piece of shit.
I'm trying to find more. I'm trying to find more of its quotes.
Just like, think about it. I'm sorry. I know it's fucked up for us to come on here and make fun of this shit, but like, you gotta remember, a lot of the times we are in character, and there are times where like we're just kind of like fucking exploiting the problems that happened. But let's think of this. We just did a whole tangent on Hulk Hogan not having any friends, to Warrior saying shitty things about hurricane victims, and you know, someone that had cancer, and people that are homosexual, and like Flair has said racist things. Fucking Macho Man wasn't exactly innocent either in his shit. You know, everyone was an asshole. Everyone, what was the most incriminating thing that Ricky Steamboat has done?
Oh no! He has a whole fucking paragraph about how Martin Luther King shouldn't have his self-titled birthday recognized as his national holiday.
No wonder why Earls is like, oh, it's Ricky Steamboat's my hero, yeah, because everyone else is a piece of shit.
No. He complained that George Washington doesn't have his own devoted national holiday, but Martin Luther King does.
Alright, but yeah, this was fucking just him being insane.
And he's like, Martin marched a few times from Selma, Alabama to Montgomery, Alabama. It's only about 40 miles, and he walked along paved roads with security escorts and modern comforts and conveniences.
But
he wrote a few. No. He's like, this is how fucked up this guy was. He wrote a few jailhouse letters, plagiarized a great many speeches, played up his last name King as if he was one. He led his best rally amid the monuments of Washington, D.C., and he preached proper righteous behavior while he committed adultery many publicly verifiable times. Oh, he had a dream. Yeah, that's the Ultimate Warrior for you.
You want to hear WWE's statement regarding this?
Yes, I do.
Alright, this is gonna be basically their explanation in 4 words, I guess you could say, are the exact reason why they saved their asses big time with all the shit he has done. WWE says, and I quote, WWE's Unleash Your Warrior Breast Cancer Awareness Campaign, an annual Warrior Award, recognizes individuals that exhibit the strength and courage of WWE's legendary, here's the 4 words, character, the Ultimate Warrior. Any attempt to distract from the mission of these initiatives and take the spotlight away from the honorees is unfortunately misguided. Pretty much explaining, we're supporting the idea of the character, the Ultimate Warrior, but yes, Jim Hellwig did say some shitty things. It's still like, okay,
them having some kind of like event, and they say, "Oh, releasing the Rabid Wolverine."
You know, that's kind of like when you like roll out like a dejected 50 60-year-old man who just like reeks of like fucking whiskey from like the night before, and you put like a Santa Claus thing on him, and it's like kids are like, yeah, Santa Claus is awesome, and you're like, everyone's meeting Santa Claus at the mall, and then like someone sees him out of character, and he's just like, fuck off, you little fucks. I got a fucking hangover. Fuck Christmas.
Why are you talking about Sandman's holiday job?
Hey man, he's sober now, to my knowledge.
Yeah, and
he's sober.
Ultimate Warrior wasn't a racist piece of shit. Oh no, we're gonna get some we're gonna get his widow is gonna be like what?
Oh my god.
Listening to the show, like, these motherfuckers, they keep talking about my racist husband.
Hey, you're the one, man. I'm sorry. You're the one that's like, hey, it's your... I pretty much said what I thought. Yeah, okay. he fucking... Yeah, he said shitty things. He's done shitty things. But but if people are willing to move past it, I'm like, alright, fine, cool. That's fine. But if you leave no room for error and you just keep fucking up and you keep harping on the shitty things, yeah, you're a piece of shit. Till the day you die. At least...
Wait, he died, what, 2011?
No, 2014.
Oh, really?
Yeah, 2014 wow. Warrior died. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, let's stray away from this. From one piece of shit to another who's trying to make good of himself. Jeff Jarrett's officially in WWE sponsored rehab.
Why would WWE... I thought Vince hated Jeff Jarrett.
It's... Alright, here's what WWE has something that's low-key. It's a rehab that WWE sponsors for any wrestler. You could be anyone. If you worked with WWE and you have a problem, you can go there and get help. WWE does this for anyone.
Yeah, that's a good thing, I guess, but...
Yeah, no,
I thought they would be like, except Jeff Jarrett.
No, I think China was a part of it. Even when Razor Ramon was working with TNA, they had him in there. People were in TNA. Angle was there while working for TNA.
I'm surprised they sponsor that.
It's, I don't know. I really don't know the whole way it's set up and designed, but I think it's a good thing. I sure as hell am happy that WWE...
Probably for them too, because then okay, what happens if the guy overdoses? Then you have more negative publicity. Because then you have, another wrestler died from a drug overdose.
I think, wouldn't that fall more onto the people that are supposed to be taking care of him, but more so him? Well, at that rate, when you're an addict, you're an addict. You can't really, control yourself. If you're going to rehab, you really can't control yourself, so it doesn't fall on your shoulders. But yeah, I do agree with you. Where people need to watch these guys like hawks until they're strong enough on their own to have, to fucking control their urges.
Well, I'm also saying because the WWE needs to. The whole reason WWE is doing it is because they don't want another scandal. Where there's more people keep dying. From some kind of drug abuse that they pick up in fucking WWE.
I mean,
that's what they probably think. That's what the whole reason that they probably ended up doing this was. They don't want more people to look at them and go, oh well, you're the main reason that these guys are going on the sauce.
But isn't that you could? But here's the thing: that's any job. You can blame any job that.
Yeah, but think about how many people died in the past couple of years of some kind of like drug problem in WWE or outside of WWE, and it was like a former wrestler for them. Like, you look up and down the list, it's like how many people are dying, because the whole reason is they don't give a shit. They just don't want to be, saddled with the negative publicity. Like, oh well, it causes all these guys to go fucking like nuts and take drugs or drink themselves to death. I think it's more or less WWE trying to like save themselves from looking stupid.
Yeah, you're right. I don't know. I would like to believe that it's WWE's way of how do I put it? I would like to believe it's WWE's way of going, hey, let's try to let's try to have some redeeming qualities. Let's try to help out these people, not just publicity. I mean, the fact that little people know about it, I think it is more of a testament to, let's just try to help these people. Because WWE, they would have fucking, if they really wanted to, they could have just put like commercials of this on Raw and be like, oh, look how good we are. We took all our talent and we put them in a rehab who all have problems. If they really wanted to, they could have done that, but no.
No, I think they just I think they just don't want to I just don't think they want to have anything involved with them just dying of some kind of like drug problem. That's just me. I think they're just trying to like save themselves from looking stupid for allowing so many of their wrestlers to die from like some kind of like drug overdose when they're like a publicly traded company. Like even in the NFL, you really don't hear as much about this, like in the NFL and boxing, and it's more hush hush. So if it's like somebody outside of it ends up dying, it's fine. It's when people are well known in the WWE universe, as they like to call it, and they go out and they fucking die from some like drug overdose or alcohol, or they're like they have like major problems with alcohol or something. They'd rather have it cleaned up so it doesn't like bring a negative cloud on what they do as a business.
Right. I understand. I don't know. I understand that it's WWE trying to protect themselves, but I don't know. I try to be a little optimistic here. I'm
not optimistic because I realize it's a business and they're just looking out for their own self-interest.
Even though Vince isn't exactly Human of the Year or Humanitarian of the Year, there's stuff I could tell you off air that I know that he's done, at least for I'll put it this way. I know the shit that he's done to people that or my dad's friends with that I don't want to give names out. So I would like to believe if he would have done it to people that worked with them long time ago, I'd like to believe that, hey, look, they're trying to help out some way, somehow. But I don't know. Anyway, let's, a few more things here to touch on. Let's see, Don Callis, formerly known as Cyrus, also formerly known as the Jackal, rumored to go to Impact. He's currently working for New Japan Pro Wrestling. Please stay in New Japan. Please.
Yeah, why would you want to leave, why would you want to leave Japan to go to Impact?
And there's more names added to that. Supposedly, Sami Callihan, a.k.a. Jeremiah Crane from Lucha, a.k.a. Solomon Crow, formerly in NXT, is supposedly heading there. I've seen this guy wrestle live since, like, 2009 in, like, All Pro and CCW and all that. And then Tessa Blanchard is rumored to go there. Which is kind of weird because there's also shit where it's like, oh, if she goes, then maybe Ricochet's gonna go there, and I'll believe either one of those when I see it.
To be honest, I don't see it because her father's there. She's still in developmental, and I think Ricochet has already signed a contract with WWE.
No, he hasn't signed yet.
He hasn't signed yet? I thought he already signed.
No, he hasn't signed yet. No, but no, she's kind of like she's on like a pay per appearance deal with WWE.
Okay.
Yeah, she's not contracted.
Hmm.
So that's why it's kind of up in the air. But you know, they live in Florida, and they actually I don't know if they still do, but I know they were living with Apollo Crews for a while. I'd imagine not because I know he has a kid. Apollo, so I'd imagine he's living with his girlfriend or wife or whatever, but no, they're living in Florida, so I know it's either going to be one or the other. It's either going to be Impact or NXT, since they both are pretty much half an hour away from each other. I would think more maybe NXT, but you never know. It's a stupid move. It is a stupid move if Ricochet was like, you know what, let me try Impact. Regardless if they were to push him, it's still the idea of, are you going to get paid? And what's the
company at this point is like,
are you going to get paid?
Look, if everyone is leaving, even the guy that was supposed to be in charge of the company is fucking leaving, I think it's time for you not to go.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Let's see here. Nia Jax is back.
Which, yeah, I guess she wasn't leaving the company. But you know what? It's weird because like when you hear so much about people taking leave of absence, and they never really come back.
Yeah, and dude, it's only been like 2 weeks or whatever.
Yeah.
But you know what, though? She got a nice little pop. People are shocked that she was back. But I hate to say it, I find it a little funny. I'm not saying they had to heat or nothing. I'm just saying I find it funny that Emma's gone and then Nia was like, okay. Find it a little odd. I'm just saying.
Probably is the case. You know?
Yeah,
let my ass get back here before they fire me too.
Yeah, Hey, you're like, hey, I'm not ready to go back to modeling. Let me let me get a check for working Bailey tonight.
So to be honest, I think she would probably be better, more well paid if she went back to modeling.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe.
Because what they really don't make from what you read from the amounts that you gave me last week, I don't think these women really make all that much. Nikki Bella is the one that makes the most, so there you go.
Oh my god! Oh, I gotta say this, and I know a friend of ours there is gonna is gonna say something, but I got a text yesterday from there's no way to say it but to say it. I got a text yesterday from my sister who was watching Dancing with the Stars, and she's like, oh, she's like, I don't know if you know, but like, Nikki Bella was on Dance with the Stars, and she's like, I gotta say, she's kind of a cool person. And I just immediately sent her like a gif of like Stephen Carell from The Office. Is like, no, God, no. And I sent her like an entire diatribe of how much of a shitty person she really is. I was like, don't fall for it. It's a trap.
That's how she lures you in, and then she burrows you.
Do I think she has compassion for human life? Yeah, I don't think she's going fucking full blown Jim Hellwig and saying there's no room for queering in the world. But I definitely don't see her as being a good Samaritan by going, I'm gonna drink this $300 bottle of wine with John, and then we're gonna talk about when I come back to wrestle, how I am like the greatest like of all time. How like I'm the reason why women's wrestling is so revolutionary, and like Brie's like Brie was like the main reason why like it was cool to like attack your boss, because like no one remembers that bald guy that used to attack his boss. Everyone remembers when Brie attacked Stephanie McMahon. We're revolutionary.
Oh god. You know the funny thing is, I don't think that's the great thing about it. I don't think she ever held the actual like any of the women's titles.
No.
She only held the Divas title.
It was the butterfly belt.
Yeah. Which is, it's kind of sad that AJ got the fucking butterfly belt, but she never held like a good belt, like an actual like good women's belt. So that's in a way that's kind of depressing. But thank God they got rid of the fucking butterfly belt.
Oh god, yeah. I love like the little like I love like the little nod in like the 2K commercial where like fucking Snoop was just like, no divas, no mud fights, no thanks. Where they're pretty much like the company itself is kind of like, yeah, we fucked up.
Yeah, I feel like in some way you're gonna have yeah, they're gonna start putting like all the old school like fucking like mud matches and shit into like the fucking WWE games. Because they're like in a way they keep like reversing back through time, like how all the old games used to do shit. Like they're like like we've said this numerous times where like you have the Hell in a Cell, and now you can like smash people into cars and glass and all this other bullshit. So it's just a matter of time before we start getting back to like mud matches and bra and panties matches.
Yeah. Let's see here. What else? Kenta, aka Hideo Itami, rumored to head to 205.
It just feels like another person that's like not gonna get over in 205.
Yeah,
I really don't understand why what the hell the problem is with how they book and utilize these guys, because they have a lot of talented guys there, and it's just, I don't know if whoever the writer is, or they have no fucking legitimate star. A lot of it is they got a bunch of guys that they didn't utilize when they were in NXT, or like they only came up after the only after the the Cruiserweight Classic,
Right.
and they never really went into detail into making these guys get over, or have some of the guys that are over in NXT go there and get a pop. And the only time that they had two guys that were like could have been legitimate like talent, getting this product over was when they had Austin Aries and Neville, and that ship has fucking sailed.
Yeah, because both were on the fucking WrestleMania pre-show, and they weren't on the DVD, and therefore their check was not fucking get rightfully given to them, and it was fucking fucked up. So they were like, "Yeah, fuck you guys, we're out. Smell you later, motherfuckers."
Well, you know what? We got a fucking stupid match like we had to have John Cena and fucking Nikki Bella huh?
No, I'm sorry. I stumbled upon something. Go ahead.
I mean, we had to have John Cena and Nikki Bella fucking go, "Oh, will you marry me?" And then like the fucking squash match with him the Miz and Maurice. Which, fuck off. Like we needed to see this. This needed to be on the fucking main show. And then we had a fucking abortion with the fucking doucheman and Undertaker, which that needed to be half the fucking time that it was.
I'm glad you unintentionally mentioned Undertaker, because the reason why I went what was because I found a fucking interesting article now. Porn legend Jenna Jameson has revealed that she feared WWE icon The Undertaker was going to kidnap her. Jameson made the claim in her autobiography, How to Make Love Like a Porn Star, and says she used to be friends with the dead man. Taker, who this week confirmed to be making a stunning return to WWE TV in January, we'll talk about that after this article, used to hang around with the adult entertainment beauty when she was on the road in Las Vegas. Jameson says she was only 16 at the time, and she used to watch on with shyness whenever the wrestler visited the tattoo parlor she worked at. In her 2004 book, which spent 6 weeks on the New York Times bestseller list, the porn queen claims that they ended up becoming good friends and hanging out together. She wrote, Undertaker was one of the biggest wrestlers at the time, blah, blah, blah. And, let's see. Jameson went on to claim that despite being one of the most feared wrestlers, he was actually, he was scared of her. Despite allegedly being creeped out by her hanging around the tattoo shop, she'd reveal that he came to her aid when a guy was pestering her, blah, blah, blah. Alright, so they were good friends. The man was attempted to buy her a drink when Undertaker intervened, telling him, "You can get me a shot of Jaeger, and you could get yourself a shot of Shut the Fuck Up." Taker then tried to woo Jameson accordingly to the widely recognized greatest female porn star of all time, telling her, "I'm going to kick your boyfriend's ass and take you away with me." She added, "I knew he was serious. I ran upstairs and told Jordan we have to leave because this guy was going to beat the fuck out of him and kidnap me. So I never saw him again." Wow. Well, first I pointed about Ricky Steamboat being the only good Samaritan. So what did we learn this week, kids? Hogan fucking has no friends left. Warrior was a piece of shit. And Taker's trying to kidnap porn stars.
Oh no.
Oh, man. But yes, yes, that'll segue. I guess we can segue eventually into this. But do you have any comment about that?
I just know what I want to use as my outro now.
Alright, yeah, get the outro. And while you do that, we'll touch on the two things we want to cover before we wrap up. And also I gotta announce something too. But yeah, okay. So Raw is doing a simulcast on January 22nd for the 25th anniversary. They're going to, on the same night, do the Barclays Center as well as the Manhattan Center for the first time in almost 21 years, featuring talent from SmackDown as well as Shawn Michaels, Diesel, Undertaker, and rumored to be there as well will be Ric Flair, Razor Ramon, Mick Foley, Bret Hart, and probably others, maybe The Rock, maybe Austin, who knows. But I'll tell you what, I really like the Manhattan Center as a venue. I'm actually surprised they're going there. I mean, I did make a joke a week or two ago that WWE would have to go back to the Manhattan Center in small buildings because of how much they're not selling out.
Yeah, and we didn't bring this up, but WWE has this weird fucking concept of, hey, we are doing really well in the business side of things. Yeah, you're doing really well on the business side of things because the network is selling, the merch is selling.
Is the
but
network
it's
selling?
not selling in the States. It's selling outside the States.
Oh yeah, they're not fucking doing what they should be doing in the States. They're doing everything on the business and outside of the States. So, are they really that fucking progressive? Are they really making? And then I got an argument with that guy Grimm, who had the fucking who had Virgil over his house that one time, where he's like saying like, oh, they're doing really good. They are doing really good business. You don't understand or whatever.
They're doing really good business outside the world, in the larger world. They're selling out in other countries, not the United States. They're losing viewers. They're not selling out, and you look at their business model. It's going to flame out at some point when the rest of the world gets as bored with the product as the United States is. You're gonna have a problem. It's the same problem that they're doing what movie makers do now, where if something underperforms in the United States, they expect China or Asia or Europe to pick up the numbers. So if you took out China in Asia and India and you took away those numbers, I'm betting you WWE would be underperforming right now. The only reason that they're performing as well as they have, and they're saying, "Oh, this is the biggest thing." If I were to take the numbers from back in the early '90s and with inflation, I'd bet you WWE would be outperforming itself back in the '90s, in the late '90s, would be outperforming now in terms of just American.
They fucking were. Think of back then you had them going to fucking not just fucking Canada. Yeah, they were going to fucking South America. They were going to fucking Germany doing Raws. They were going to fucking Tokyo and doing Raws. They were going to Australia doing shows. They were doing UK shows and filming them and calling them pay-per-views 3 times a year. So they were doing, and they were all sellouts. Every one of them was sellouts. Can you really tell me that they were in Santiago, Chile, and fucking doing sellout shows? No, they weren't. Prove it to me if they were. But I want to just say what Grim was fucking saying here, where he was going, because he was replying to Stephanie's tweet where she's like, this morning WWE announced its all-time best quarter in company history, and he's saying internet thinks WWE's dying and shit's all over it, that they yet they're doing the best business ever. And I wrote, on the business side, sure, but in the U.S. market, ticket and merch sales are at record lows. How can anyone pretend WWE's doing okay? To which he's saying, or someone wrote to me, oh, it's not 1983 anymore. Or Suplex Network wrote, it's not 1983 anymore. There's more to it than just selling tickets to the show. Whatever there. But then Grimm's saying to me, merch and ticket sales are the business side. LOL, can't have record-breaking earnings without doing record-breaking business. To which I wrote, when I say business side, I meant the marketing and countries and sponsors. Have you seen the attendances for Raw and SmackDown? And even pay-per-views as well. So, I mean, I don't understand this bubble where people are looking at it and going, yeah, they're doing great financially. They're doing tremendous in other countries.
In other countries, because that's where they're focusing most of their marketing. In the United States, they're losing viewers.
Even in the UK, they're doing
viewers,
okay.
They're losing subscription. They're losing network subscription. They've only picked up because they within the last year, and within this is why their numbers have gone up. They introduced not only the network to China, but they also introduced the network to India. And those are some of the biggest populations in the world. China has roughly around 2 billion people, and India has about 1 billion. So obviously, even if you get 10% of each population, it's roughly making up what you're losing in the United States.
Right.
Now, common sense would say, yeah, they're losing a lot of business in the United States. A lot of business, but they're making it up with a lot of people that don't have wrestling in their country. So obviously, yeah, people are going to buy the network. They're going to start buying shit from the stores. You know, it's a bubble, though. But they're building a bubble that is going to burst. Because what happens when India and China start to lose interest? You're going to have a marketplace that's going to collapse, because you already burn bridges, because the product is subpar. It's subpar in the United States. It's subpar in anywhere you see it. It's subpar. And once you have better wrestling, and you have a better product come along, yeah, you're gonna have the Monday. And this is the thing. WWF and WCW fought each other on an American market. That was the market that they were battling for. You're going to see a Monday, and it might not happen now, but it might happen within the next 10 to 20 years. You're going to have a global market, and you're going to have two companies, and somebody will come along. I don't know if it's Japan or amalgamation of Japan, Ring of Honor, and a bunch of other indies. But you're going to have a company come along that is on par with WWE in marketing and just overall, fan support. And you're going to have a company that comes along and challenges them. And we're going to have a Monday Night War. And I don't mean it like a Monday Night War. Like it's literally going to be 2 shows on Monday. I'm saying it's going to be a company war between these two companies, and it's going to be global. You're going to have it where you're going to have China, India, and Japan, United States, Canada. The entire world is going to be involved with this, where it's just going to be these two companies battling for supremacy over the global market. It hasn't happened, but it's building towards it. And if WWE keeps doing business the way they are, where they're putting over lackluster talent, they ain't gonna win.
Right. No, they're not. I mean, It would be like if Japan was running shows in Japan, and their attendance is hurting, and fucking people are looking at that show and going, "Wow, like there's nobody here. Like, you know, what the fuck's going on?" And then Japan goes, "No, look, we're doing tremendous in the States, but you really don't. All you do is bring talent to Ring of Honor, and you know you go to the States maybe once or twice a year." Yeah, but you know we're doing great money in the States. Yeah, but I mean you're not in your main market. You're not doing that hot. So I think them doing over their defense of, oh, look how good we are in China. You don't fucking go to China.
The whole thing is they're making money to offset it, and because they don't want to freak out their investors, because it's all about the investors. If the investors start to freak the fuck out, then there's gonna have to be a change in management. So the whole thing with WWE is they're trying to manage the ship as well as they can in terms of making a profit and getting, you know, global attention. But you obviously eventually, I mean, people in China, people in India are going to look at this and say, look, why are all the Americans that go to these shows not showing up? And obviously you're always going to have somebody going to the shows, but I remember years ago, most of these shows would be sold out. You wouldn't even be able to get tickets. The only way you'd be able to get in was like scalpers. And you would see on television, like every other SmackDown, every other Raw was completely sold out. They'd sell out like huge domes, friggin' Madison Square Garden, any fucking thing, any kind of venue that you can think of. And now they don't even sell out like 6,000, you know, people arenas now. You know, you have like a quarter of the crowd like gone, and they have to like manage the crowd because the entire crowd on the hot camera side is like fucking completely gone, so they have to like edit it out. You know, like that's ridiculous. That's like a company that's on its death throes. Like if you're starting to see that's TNA type of attendance.
Right.
So the company has a lot of problems, and I don't think anyone who's an apologist and saying, oh well, they're a fantastic business. Obviously, they've got problems, and they might be doing well in China and India for a time, but you don't know. And this is just the impact of adding those markets in now. Let's see within a year or two if the numbers start to dwindle, because if market interest is lost from both those countries, yeah, WWE is going to be in a lot of trouble.
Yep.
That being said, I think we should start wrapping up.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about the Bully Ray thing, but I think I'd rather talk about it when we get closer to Ring of Honor and Final Battle.
Yeah, I mean, most everybody that, you know, that's kind of something they shouldn't have done, was like a head injury.
If anything, right now, I don't want to really talk about it because I finally got the TV shows on because now I got a Roku. I finally got the TV shows to where I can watch every week. And for those that do watch Ring of Honor TV, I'm not saying this because, oh no, I don't. I now watch it, so I don't want to give spoilers out for myself. I don't want to give spoilers out regardless. So we'll talk about it when it officially airs or when it's officially announced by Ring of Honor websites. Ring of Honor's website, I mean. But I will say though, send me outro by the way if you haven't. Yeah. I will say, unfortunately, we hate to do this. I hate to do this, but we're gonna have to go bi-weekly. Mainly for this month for now, because unfortunately I gotta work on the 8th and the 22nd, and you know, it is what it is. But you know, we'll be back the 15th. You know, if we were to do something during the week on another day, who knows? But for now, we're gonna keep it as we'll come back on a Wednesday. As far as Wednesdays go, we'll be back on the 15th. But you know, you never know if we could randomly pop up. Yeah.
Actually, I'm gonna send you one better.
I mean, that's it. Do you have
I'm gonna send you the better one, actually.
Do you have a Hulk Hogan birthday song?
No. I'm gonna send you the better one.
Alright, let's see here. Oh, I can't even see the link. Oh, it's a mystery. Let's see here. Okay.
It's the better version.
Alright, good. Alright, well, with that said, let's see, plugs. A good friend of the show, Chad Flatt of the Pro Wrestling Weekly. That is on thefanspodcast.com. Also, you got Retro with the Stro at VocNation.com. He's on Wednesday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern. Also, you got a Wrestling Soup there on Mixler on 9:30 every Thursday night Eastern time. Or check them on the download. They upload every Friday mornings on iTunes. Stitcher's been kind of weird with them. I'm sorry, because Stitcher's been good with us. So, they've been good getting our shows up there on the download. I don't know why. But, also, emwcreations.com/KTR. If you're listening on the computer, that's the official archive link. Please sub us on YouTube. We're here live. Mostly every Wednesday, but we'll be on next. We'll be on the 15th. On YouTube. Please sub to us. We're also gotta get more content up there. We gotta get more videos and shit. Me and you are gonna look to probably do that within November. Get more stuff on the channel. Twitter.com. Follow me at EricTheRed211. ERICTHE Red 211. And GR Earl's Art. You can tweet him and ask him why the fuck isn't he on the show. And then you got Mr. Underscore Bonesaw for all your gripes and complaints on the show. So if you want to dispute why Warrior isn't a scumbag, please do. Or wasn't. Oof. Until next time, keep it kayfabe.
Dead man walking.